This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the New Media Production Studio. The lead stories tonight: YouTube Music officially rolls out podcasts for listeners in the United States. Intel reports the largest quarterly loss in company history. An employee says ChatGPT carries out 80% of his work duties, which allowed him to take on a second job. How long does it take AI to crack your password? You might just be surprised. I want to welcome you to episode 1665 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, April 27th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all my new listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Get signed up for the show. All you got to do is follow or subscribe to the podcast right on the right-hand column of the website. Of course, we want you to get engaged with us, so subscribe to the newsletter as well while you're over there. You can join our chat room at geeknews.chat. That's a Mastodon chat server. And of course, we have the ability for you to connect with us on Discord. That link is in the show notes following the show. You can always contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or on Twitter at geeknews. First, you can follow me on Facebook just by searching for my name. All the partner shows are linked to geeknewscentral.com, whether that is the new media show with myself, Mr. Rob Greenlee, the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain, the GNC Week in Review with Kirk, our executive producer, and his co-host, Scott. So definitely check those shows out. Again, our partner shows at geeknewscentral.com. Of course, this show is sponsored in part by our good friends at GoDaddy.com. geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy is the place to go for saving. You can save a lot of money by using one of my promo codes, whether it be 30% off a new product purchase, $4.99.com for new or transferred for new customers only, $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain name, $1.99 a month. Economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. That's a deal too good to be true, and it is true. $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year. $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. Again, all these deals are available at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. All you got to do is go over there and click to lock in the savings. You can get a free trial with GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal business-to-business plus plans. That's a 1-month free trial. Get over there, get her done, save some money, start your new business, start your new online website. Do this today. Now, I do want to thank all of you. I did get an email from my GoDaddy rep today. My report came in for basically March 27th to April 27th. We did pretty good. I want to thank you all for your support. Again, these codes save you about 94% on GoDaddy hosting account. You cannot go wrong. So definitely get over there and definitely give it a look. All right, so boy, oh boy, today was one of those show days that I don't want to repeat anytime soon. What we found about on Monday was that Twitter had shut down the ability for me to restream on Twitter through their studio platform. So I got to talking with Rob, my co-host. He said, "Oh yeah, I can enable that real easy over on with a platform he's using." And I thought, "Wow, really?" And basically, what has happened is the service that I have used for years, Cloud Wowza, it does not have all these cool integrations, and it's an issue. So what has happened and what we have determined is that really Cloud Wowza has lost the ball. They are way behind in implementing integrations. So I went looking for a new service, and I connected up with a company called Restream, and it's cheaper. And from everything I can see, pretty impressed so far with everything that's going on there. I've got some tweaks still to make to the system for sure. But one thing that I can say is that all the integrations were there. Everything that I needed to be online was good to go. So of course, what do? You do some testing. So this afternoon, I got done with everything about 5 o'clock. Came in here, got everything set up, got the TriCaster going, got the live stream running on test, and it's saying, "Hey, some frame rate issues." And I go look at the new tech website for what they recommend, and of course, it's an upgrade. Now, here's the thing: I've always said, do not upgrade the TriCaster on a show night. Well, that was that. I didn't listen to my inner self, and I didn't pay attention when the media files downloaded, and I didn't realize I was one short. And when I went to do the installation, yes, you guessed it, I totally thrashed my system. I had to recover. Now, the recovery's not so bad. You go in, you hit F1, you reload the 2017 version of the software, you load the system up, you go in and you download the latest graphics driver, you then do the upgrade, and then you install some more software, and then about 5 reboots later, you're up. So literally, at 6:20 when the show's supposed to start, finally everything came up, and of course my profiles are safe because they're not on the C drive. So I got right in, had to do a couple of more authentications, testing to make sure all the outputs are right, and breathing a sigh of relief when, whew, everything came up. Now, I'm not 100% up to speed with everything that this new system is doing. I do see that it automatically came up into YouTube, came up on Facebook. The Twitter stream that I have going is up. And matter of fact, that's what I'm kind of checking now as we're talking. That stream is up and running, and I'm pretty happy where we're at. The only challenge is some of YouTube settings did not get carried over, and I'm running 1080p tonight versus 720. So I will have some more tweaks to do and a few other things, but I'm pretty pleased with where we are at right now at this very moment. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with the way this is now configured. The HLS is not working, so I got to do some reading and figure out why that's not working. Because for those of you that are lit and live, listening on air right now, listening via the via our podcasting 2.0 lit and live situation, the video stream is not up. So that is okay. I will deal with that. And the main part about this is that at least now I'm able to be back up on the platforms that I want to be up on, and we're kind of in it, save some money. Number one, number two, just some configuration minutia, a little new way of doing things. But one thing's for sure, the stream comes up faster. I mean, it's fast. So there won't be sitting around for 2 or 3 minutes. I can basically be prepped, ready to go, fire the system, and really, within 20 seconds, be up and running. I know those of you that listen to the show later don't care, but I've used CloudWowza now for years, and I should have looked around. I should have looked around at different services and found one that makes sense from a financial standpoint. But yeah, TriCaster's upgraded. Everything's holding. And I guess we're ready to get into the stack of stuff tonight. But yeah, I was as soon as I realized what I did in screwing up the upgrade process, which would have literally been 10 minutes had I paid attention to the media files that were downloaded. I wouldn't have had to go stomping around in the carpet out here and swearing like a sailor for about 15 minutes. But anyway, we're here. So let's get into the show. Thank you all for listening and being part of the family. And if you have comments on today's show, you know how to send it over there. It's very, very simple. geeknews@gmail.com. And then by Monday, maybe I'll have it figured out how to do the HLS stream back into the platform that I need to have it to go to. All right. YouTube Music, and that's another thing I should check right now. YouTube Music has the ability to show when I'm live during the podcast now. And maybe it won't tonight because we're not running in a certain playlist. So let me see if it actually picked it up, because I think you have to pick a certain, let me look. Did it pick it up that I'm live? No, it did not. So I know what to do to remedy that. You have to be on a specific playlist and so forth. But if you like YouTube Music, you can now listen to the show over there because they've officially rolled out podcasts for listeners in the United States. Now, here's what I really want you to do. I don't want you to do that. I want you to stay in the apps you're currently using, because honestly, all YouTube Music is doing at this point is just mirroring what's in a playlist on my YouTube page. They're not pulling from RSS or anything, so I really don't get the metrics through when you listen over there. I don't have any information whatsoever that you have been playing the show. So stick on the current apps that you're using, especially those new podcasting apps at podcastapps.com. Intel is reporting the largest quarterly loss in the company history. They showed a staggering 133% annual reduction in earnings per share. And the loss per share was slightly better than Wall Street expectations. Staggering. Revenue dropped 36% year over year to $11.7 billion. This is an amazing drop in revenue. Intel's guidance for the current quarter of about $12 billion in revenue and 4% loss per share came up short. Analysts' expectation of a penny in earnings per share on $11.75 billion in sales. But they recorded a net loss of $2.8 billion compared with a profit of $8.1 billion last year. It's also the largest quarterly loss of all time, beating out the fourth quarter of 2017 where they lost $687 million. And it's just, people don't need chips. The bloodbath is continuing. We'll be talking about more bloodbath in earnings today. So we'll come in and talk about that. Brian, Twitter should be up. We've fixed that piece. I was going to go look, and you said it disappeared just now. Oh, that's no good. So let me go over and look. And look at my profile. And flip it up there. Yeah, it says I'm still... Oh, is it still live? I don't know if it's still live or not. It says it is. But maybe it still says it's live over there. Okay. We lost Twitter on the last show for sure, but we fixed it. So I'll check it later. Anyway, again, new system here that we're using. But yeah, this Intel loss was horrible. An employee said in an interview, said ChatGPT carries out 80% of his work duties, which allowed him to take on a second job. And Vice was told that they were using ChatGPT to work multiple jobs at the same time. One worker referred to as Ben said he used ChatGPT to apply for a second job. He said he used the bot to generate written content and compose messages to his manager. And he said he applied for a second job only after realizing he could use the AI tool at work. From Toronto, he helps financial technology companies market new products. And he had ChatGPT help him do his job faster and more efficiently, which left him more time. And he said he used the chatbots to write his cover letters. And he told the news outlet that with the release of ChatGPT 4, an updated version of the AI model, it made his job even easier. He said, that's the reason I got my job this year. ChatGPT does like 80% of my job, if I'm being honest. He said, I can tell it to create a story, and it just does for me based on the context that I give it. And he said he still needs to tweak the text at times. He said he even used a chatbot to write messages to his manager, prompting the bot to write them in lowercase so they appeared organic, which is a little bit interesting. So, ChatGPT, again, people are using it consistently. Now, moving on here, how long does it take an AI to crack your password? Well, you might be surprised. They've done some testing. 4 characters instantly, 5 instantly, 6 instantly, 7 instantly, lower and uppercase. But again, it goes into these how fast it's making it happen, and it's fast. So yeah, I think we covered a little bit about this on a previous show, but it's an actual AI they've taught to crack passwords based upon databases of release cracked passwords that's been out there. And it just has a little bit of information about you, and it's able to crack passwords. So you need to increase your character count to a minimum of 12. And you had to have numbers, upper and lowercase letters, and symbols. Okay? Again, numbers, upper and lowercase letters, and symbols, and you might be safe for a little while yet. So don't use all characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exclamation mark is not a password. That can be solved in this instance in let me see here, 48 minutes. So be careful out there, all right? Don't do this. Make sure you have good, strong passwords. Over at Lifehacker, they're talking about an app that lets you search everything you have ever done in your Mac. Rewind records, everything you do. It makes it easy to find later. How Rewind works? It stores everything you viewed on the screen. What? It stores everything you viewed on the screen and record things you say or hear as well. It transcribes all audio files on your Mac, makes them searchable. If you said or heard a phrase like remind me to send you a link for while using your Mac, Rewind can easily find all those references for you. It's a feature. Now, I don't necessarily think you should do this. This is a little bit scary. It can't go back in time, but it collects on you. There's a very obvious privacy concern. The cost of Rewind's convenience is that you'll be trusting a profit-driven company to store your recordings safely. Rewind's developers say that none of the recordings ever leave your device, and you can verify those claims by using a firewall app. The only catch is Rewind needs to send some data to the internet to let you use this ChatGPT feature. If that bothers you, you should block all connections to and from. It's pretty steep, $120 to $432 a year. But if you need to record everything that you do, that's the app for you. Prime Video is coming. New updates are coming in May. What's some stuff coming? A Beautiful Mind, Amistad, Babe Pig in the City. What's some new movies? Let's look down here. Bridget Jones by Baby. Most of the stuff is like 2016 and before. Madagascar 3. Let's see here. Rumble in the Bronx. Yeah, most of the old. Jimmy O Yang, Guess How Much comedy special is on. So, yeah, interesting. So there is a few out there that is coming that that will help you. So, all right. The link is in the show notes. What's new on Prime? 8 Microsoft Window tweaks that help ease eye strain. So if you're a Windows user, make it easier to work within Windows with these visual tweaks. Oh, okay, this may require money. Buy a better monitor. Oh, we know that. Turn on a blue light filter within the app. Don't adjust the resolution. Adjust the size and scale of icons, text, and more in Windows. So this is all suggestions from PC World. I'll have the link in the show notes for you to check out. Leland says, Auto GPT and Python 3, the homegrown GBT rabbit hole. Oh, somehow tells me you've been spending a lot of time in there for sure. And I'm getting texts coming in. So let me turn this down, turn the ringer down. Comcast is up after report of surprising profit. So, wow. Comcast shares jumped more than 6% after topping analysts' estimates for profit, even as the median telecommunications conglomerate continued to lose cable TV subscribers. They reported earnings, excluding one-time items, of 92 cents a share on a $29.7 billion in revenue. The first quarter results were boosted by gains at its studios and theme park businesses, which opened Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood in February. Analysts were looking at profit of 83 cents or $29.4 billion in sales. So shares saw the biggest one-day rise in 6 months. So one company's making some money. NASA, this is amazing. NASA's Voyager will do more science with a new power strategy. Of course, launched in 1977, Voyager 2 spacecraft is more than 12 billion miles away, using 5 science instruments to study interstellar space. And basically, what they're doing is they begin using a small, and I don't know how they did this, but they begin using a small reservoir of backup power set aside as part of an onboard safety mechanism. The move will enable the mission to post down shutting down a science instrument until 2026. The science data that the Voyagers are returning gets more valuable the farther away from the sun they go. So they are definitely interested in keeping as many science instruments operating as long as possible. So, of course, the Voyager probes power themselves with a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, which convert heat from decaying plutonium into electricity. The continued decay process means the generator produces slightly less power each year. So engineers have turned off heaters and other systems we've talked about over the years. But with those options now exhausted, Voyager 2, one of the spacecraft's 5 science, was next on the list. And in a search of a way to avoid shutting down science instruments, the team took a closer look at the safety mechanism designed to protect the instruments in case the spacecraft's voltage, the flow of electricity, changed significantly because a fluctuation in voltage could damage the instruments. Voyager is equipped with a voltage regulator that triggers a backup circuit in such an event. The circuit can access a small amount of power from the RTG that's set aside for this purpose. Instead of reserving power, the mission will now be using it to keep the science instruments going. Although spacecraft voltage will not be tightly regulated as a result, even more than 45 years in flight, the electrical system of both probes remain relatively stable, minimizing the need for a safety net. And the engineering team is also able to monitor the voltage and respond if it fluctuates too much. If the new approach works for Voyager 2, the team may implement on Voyager 1, which has about another year before they have to implement this because it lost the instrument early and is not used as much power. So they continue to stroke this thing and get more juice out of it. That's for sure. So, Rick, what I am using now to keep Twitter going is I'm using Restream.io. I was able to connect with it and stream, not using the studio platform anymore. That's how I'm doing it now, Rick. All right. Tesla indeed violated labor laws in Florida. U.S. Labor Board rules. An NLRB judge has ruled Tesla violated national laws by suppressing employees from discussing pay and working conditions and being allowed to bring the grievances up the chain of command. So Tesla's been now ordered by a judge to cease and desist from continuing to violate labor law, as pointed out in an email. Press Secretary Kayla Blado to The Verge, Tesla must post multilingual notices of the ruling around the Orlando facility. In areas where it would normally post notices, the automaker will also have to mail it out to all current employees at the facility and former ones who were actively employed there on or after December 13th, 2021. So Tesla's had run-ins with the NLRB several times. And so anyway, we will see what happens with that. Samsung, holy smokes. Samsung makes it stunning 95% profit drop for official for Q1 2023. A glut of memory chips leaves Samsung with its lowest profit since 2009. Earlier this month, Samsung warned the world that its Q1 2020 earnings report would be bad. Profits are officially down 95%. The company made 14.12 trillion Korean won in profit, 10.7 billion for Q1 2022, and this year it's just 640 billion won, or $478 million. And the memory division accounted for 55% of the profits in 2022. Mobile was 22%, displays were 11%. The company's leading memory division is exactly what tanked this quarter, with a loss of $3.4 billion compared to a profit of 8.45 or 6.3 billion the last quarter. So it is an absolute bloodbath. Samsung expects to recover the second half of the year thanks to these production cuts. It expects demand will gradually recover due to the launch of new smartphones and PC promotion. That means company still needs to survive Q2, though. And this is going to continue throughout this podcast of these absolute bloodbath issues. Clubhouse is laying off more than half of its workforce. Clubhouse app that sparked a wave of audio-only features, laying off 50% of its employees. The app's co-founder Paul Davidson and Roth and Seth shared the news in a memo to employees, where they emphasize a need to reset the company in a post-COVID era. In their memo, they said they've been unable to make things work with the current size of Clubhouse team, noting that it's difficult to communicate the strategy to cross-functional teams and make quick changes when each surface is owned by a different product squad. They believe a smaller product-focused team should help remedy this. And of course, Clubhouse has been struggling to stay relevant since Twitter Spaces largely taken over the audio space. So we'll see where they go with Clubhouse 2.0. Lyft is laying off 26% of its employees, shedding 1,072 jobs. The firm had already laid off 13% of its team in November. The latest decision also follows just weeks after co-founder Logan Green stepped down following a rough earnings call. Green said the company would have to boost spending to remain competitive with Uber. While neither Lyft nor Uber has turned a profit on an annual basis, Uber was profitable last quarter thanks to investment in other businesses. And I'm going to tell you, I don't see how they're not making money. I talk to Uber and Lyft people all the time. So, example, I took a Lyft from the airport. It was on Surge. It was like $38 to the hotel. The guy told me that was driving said, I'm getting $12. So if they're making this kind of money each ride, why are they losing so much cash? Less people are riding, but still their profit margin must be amazing on the actual transportation. They must just have too big of a team. I don't understand how they're losing this much money. It's less rides, maybe. The volume must be down. Because they're making it's huge profit against these drivers. I don't understand. Microsoft mice, keyboards, and webcams are being discontinued in favor of Surface activities. So Microsoft no longer manufacture mice, keyboards, webcams that are Microsoft branded. Instead, Microsoft now focuses on Surface brand PC accessories, which include mice, keyboards, pens, and more. So that's comical. So it's just going to say Surface on it instead. Amazon, though, shares jump as cloud advertising units drive revenue beat. So essentially, Amazon shares are 8% extended trading on Thursday after the e-tailer reported first quarter revenue of $127.4 billion versus $124.5 billion expected. Amazon Web Services was at 21.3 versus 21.2. Advertising was at 9.5 billion versus 9.1. For the second quarter, Amazon said revenue will be 127 billion to 133 billion. Analysts called for sales 129.8. Says our advertising business continues to deliver robust growth. So Amazon's doing okay, while everyone else is just getting killed. T-Mobile has new plans, understanding the carrier's options from Magenta to go 5G plus. So the article over here at CNET has a breakdown of exactly what you can get with these different plans. So if you are a T-Mobile customer, this might be something you'll want to look into to see if you can save some money and see what the plan you're currently on, see if it changes in price by making a move. And I bet you that it is potential for you to save cash with all these different plans that are available. Facebook owner Meta profits exceed expectations. Total revenue was $28.6 billion, while the number of people Facebook every month rose to just under 3 billion. And they say they're no longer behind in building AI. Meta sees an opportunity to introduce AI agents to billions of people in ways that will be useful and meaningful. While offering few details, he said that Meta was exploring chat experiences in WhatsApp and Messenger, visual creation tools for posts in Facebook, and Instagram and ads, and over time, video and multimodal experience as well, whatever that means. Zuckerberg insists that Meta was no longer behind in building our AI infrastructure, said generative AI-made products, which can instantly create sentences and graphics, would be released in the coming months. The positive financial figures coincide with a period where Meta slashed jobs and projects. Aim was to turn 2023 into a year of efficiency. And of course, they've reduced their workforce by more than 20,000 jobs. So, the only way they stay profitable and keep the investors happy is to downsize. GM, on the other hand, has created its own open source software protocol and wants its competitors to use it. They announced the creation of an open source software protocol as a starting point for other automakers and developers to create better software experiences for its customers. GMU protocol is part of the automaker's plan to speed up software development by streamlining the creation of software that is distributed across multiple devices within vehicles as well as across cloud and mobile. More importantly, GM says it sees this as an opportunity to work across the industry, and software projects could be beneficial, not just ones who owns Cadillac or Chevy products. Toward that end, the company is also joining the Eclipse Foundation, a Brussels-based organization that describes itself as the world's largest open source software foundation. Though our effort is intended to speed up the development of software. Well, I don't know. When you have to start writing new code, maybe it's just, I don't know. I question that. I really, really do. Hey, if any of you got security on the mind, we talked about the Google Authenticator, long-awaited Cloud 2FA feature, being able to now save it and be able to move between devices. Well, there's some warnings. People are saying it's not using the exact encryption most geeks want, called E2EE. And they said, don't do that. Don't move it. Don't turn syncing on. So the reasoning is in the article. I'm not smart enough to really give you the full details because it's technical. But if your security is your top concern, do not turn the syncing function on yet because it's coming later. Google said, we always focus on the safety and security of Google users. Newest updates of Google Authenticator was no exception. Our goal is to offer features that protect users, but are useful and convenient. We encrypt data in transit and at rest across our products, including Google Authenticator. E2EE is a powerful feature that provides extra protection, but at the cost of enabling users to get locked out of their own data without recovery. To make sure we're offering users a full set of options, we've started rolling out optional E2E encryption in some of our products, and we have plans to offer E2EE for Google Authenticator down the line. Right now, we believe our current product strikes the right balance for most users and provides significant benefits over online use. However, the option to use the app offline will remain an alternative for those who prefer to manage their backup strategy themselves. Over on BBC News, Muslim dating app loses appeal against Tinder owner company Match Group. The Court of Appeal upheld a June 2020 ruling that the average consumer would have thought Muzzmatch, now Muzz, was part of the Match Group, which owns Tinder. I didn't know Tinder was owned by Match Group. I had nary a clue. Match Group, it said, was pleased the court ruled in its favor. The app has already been renamed Muzz. So Muslim Match. Why don't they just call it Muslim Match? Muslim dating app lose appeal. So little rebranding going to happen. According to IDC, smartphone makers' woes continue with 14.6% drop in the first quarter of this year, according to IDC track. So declined to 14.6 to 286.86 million units in quarter one. So not surprised. Again, everything is down. Dropbox is laying off 500 employees, 16% of staff. CEO says due to a slowing growth and the era of AI. What? Why would Dropbox be downsizing because of AI? The SEC filing noted the company incurred charges of approximately $37 million to $42 million in conjunction with layoffs, which were recorded in quarter two. Quarter one results, which will be reported next Thursday, will be in line or even above the expectation. Even with strong results and the fact that Dropbox is profitable, Houston said the company is choosing to take preemptive steps to cut jobs and invest in new areas to keep up with the pace of change, given that growth is slowing. Part of this is due to natural maturation of our existing businesses, but recently headwinds from the economic downturn have put pressure. Second, more consequently, AI era of computing has finally arrived. We believe for many years that AI will give us new superpowers and completely transform knowledge work. Okay, well, I guess. For those who have been warning that AI will lead to the loss of more jobs, this will come as an alarming development. The more cynical might argue that it's an easy and timely excuse for cutting costs. Dropbox is changing with the time. Stuff won't get disrupted in the next wave of innovation. He said the impacted staff are getting notified today. We'll finish work by tomorrow. With the work finished by tomorrow, the company had 3,125 employees. So far, about 184,000 people have been laid off in the tech sector. Meanwhile, over at Twitter is complying with more government demands under Elon Musk. The company has not refused a single request since Musk took ownership, according to self-reported data. Before Musk took over, Twitter's full compliance rate hovered around 50%. Since takeover, it's over 80%. So 971 requests between October 27th and April 26th. The EU is setting out to change sets out patent rules for smart technology to limit lawsuits. So in other words, those that hold patents in the EU, your patents just become less valuable, as you will not be able to sue for as much for them as you used to. The EU proposal includes a new supplementary protection certificate, extended patent by 5 years for pharmaceutical or plant production products, protection products. This would complement the EU unitary patent that will launch on June 1st. Another element of the proposal will allow governments to authorize the use of a patented invention without the patent holder's consent in the case of emergency. So, of course, it has to be agreed to by the EU countries, but that's just basically a rubber stamp. A Brazilian court has banned Telegram for failing to hand over data from neo-Nazi groups. The company will be fined almost $200,000 a day until it complies with the court orders. So apparently there's a neo-Nazi group they want information on. but they're not giving it to him. We also know that the Brazilian Supreme Court previously banned Telegram for failing to freeze accounts spreading disinformation. However, the ban was reversed in just a couple of days, and Telegram blamed its non-compliance to lost email. So we'll see what happens this round. I think many of you probably have put not AirPod, the air trackers on your animals. Well, there's a Bluetooth tracker cat collar now from Tile, and if you want to track your kitty, depending on find out where they're at, you can put one on your cat, and the Tile tracker is water resistant, compatible with the Tile app on Android and iOS devices, and maximum range of about 250 feet. It will last roughly 3 years before the battery runs out. The collar attachment can fit collars between 3/8 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch wide. So, find your kitty from Tile. 9 types of phone damage that aren't covered by your free warranty. And I think we all should know this. Get water on it, you're not getting a replacement. Physical damage, you're not getting a replacement. Software damage, well, if you've jailbroke it, you're not getting a replacement. Loss or theft, you're not getting a replacement. Try to repair it yourself, you're not getting a replacement. Damage from aging or tear and wear, you're not getting a replacement. Surges, power outages, you're not getting a replacement. So those are just some of the things that can happen if you're relying on the manufacturer's warranty. Make sure if you want to warranty your phone, here's the best thing I'm going to tell you to do. Have a good case. Have a good screen cover. And besides losing it, you're probably going to be okay. You're going to spend $13, $14 a month for an insurance policy through Assurance or one of those companies. Now, if you have a tendency to lose stuff or drop stuff, that $13 a month might be well spent money. So, make a decision. And I think you can add insurance almost any time. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But the way my company policy is, because my company buys me this phone, we don't put any insurance on it. If I smash it or break it, then I have to go beg I'm sorry and ask for a replacement. So knock on wood, that has not been the case so far. This is a very curious defense strategy. Elon or deep fake. Musk must face questions on autopilot state. But their defense strategy on this has basically said that Musk must testify, but his lawyers have said he cannot recall the details of his statement that the plaintiffs want to ask him about. And the billionaire celebrity CEO is often the subject of convincing deep fake videos. It's probably, and I guess they have him on recording. So I guess you can say that's not me 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 times. But I don't know what a judge is really going to think about that. Of course, this judge is not too happy. So maybe, maybe it won't turn out so good for Elon. Apple has disclosed the number of monthly active users for the App Store in Europe. In order to comply with the European Digital Service Act, Apple's been forced to reveal the number of monthly active users for the App Store in Europe. The company said the iOS App Store has 101 million users in Europe, whereas iPad OS has 23 million, the Mac App Store has 6 million, the TV OS App Store has 1 million, and the Watch OS App Store has under 1 million. The company also said Apple Books and podcast paid subscriptions are being used by less than, well, listen to this. The company said that Apple Books and podcast paid subscriptions are also being used by less than 1 million people in Europe per month. The numbers based on the average taken over a 6-month period up to January 2023. So that's an interesting move. Indeed. Google Meet now offers 1080p video calls. Right now, it's only available on the web for paid subscribers. And I've been using Zoom for a long time. I hate using Teams from Windows. I've not had a Google Meet video call in maybe more than a year. So 90% of the stuff I do with online meetings is with Zoom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to bring me here to the end. Even though we got a late start, got through the content pretty quickly. Kirk did a great job of rounding up stuff for me. We'll be back with you Monday for another edition of the show. Don't forget, the easiest way to reach out to the show is very, very simple. geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, at Geek News on Twitter. We are, live again back on Twitter because I have switched to a new streaming provider. The HLS video stream did not work for the new podcasting apps. So I'll go back and do some research to figure out if I can get a true HLS stream out of Restream.io. But it's been my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to bring you the podcast tonight. I hope that you'll find it in your heart to drop a boost. As you're listening to the show, feel free to boost the show and on those new podcasting apps. Now, I'm going to explain this just one more time, at least in the near future. You go over to podcastapps.com, pick up the Fountain or Podverse app on iOS or Android. Then use your debit card or your Apple Pay, put $20 worth of Satoshis in your wallet. Then when you're listening to shows that are value for value enabled, all you have to do is send what's called a boostagram. You'll see the little lightning mark. Click on the lightning mark. The lightning mark will open a box to allow you to indicate how many sats you want to send. 1,000 is 25 cents. 10,000 is $2.50. You get the idea. Then write your little message to me and send it as a boost. And it'll come across, and I will have it here and be able to read it on the air. We have gotten some boostgrams that have come in. And Cass Garden is now syndicating GNC to the Fediverse network. A few of you have sent a little bit of boost here and there. I don't see anything in the last week or so, but most of the boosting is happening on the new media show. So you're the geeks, you're the nerds, you're the ones that are listening to this tech show, and I want you to get involved. And get over there. And if I'm providing value to you in the show, feel free. Feel free to send me a little boost back. Or if you're going to do that, you can use fiat funds. You can go over to geeknewscentral.com/insider, and you can submit a one-time PayPal donation, or you can sign up to be an insider with $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, and $25 a month donations. Again, those one-time donations are great. You're getting your tax returns back shortly. Some of you should be getting some of that money in return. We would definitely love, let's just say 5%, 3% of your tax return. It'll help the show out immensely. It will. We know everyone's tight, but if you love your favorite geek here at Geek News Central, we hope that you'll support the show. It's been my pleasure bringing the podcast. Be back with you Monday for another edition of the show. Everyone stay safe, be good, keep on geeking out. Definitely tell us what you think of the show recently. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.